Welcome back to a midweek episode of the Andrew Hines Real Estate Investing Podcast. I'm your host, Andrew Hines, as usual, here coming from my garage. And today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the upcoming book. So my book, Real Estate Titans, is coming out at the end of the month. So I'm offering a special opportunity for people who would like to get a copy of the Kindle version for just 99 cents. We're going to be doing that on May 24th. So Friday, May 24th, if you log on, just go on to Amazon and search Real Estate Titans. You will find our book and you can buy it for just 99 cents that day. Full disclosure, we wanted to do something nice for the audience, of course, and we really want to hit the top of the charts here. We're going for bestseller on the Kindle as well as on the soft cover, and the soft cover will be launched at the start of the next week. And for that one, we're actually going to be giving away some pretty amazing bundles from the different investors featured in the book. So we have many real estate titans, as we've coined them, in our book that have been very generous about offering something back to our audience, back to our readers, so that they can help take their game to the next level. So that includes massive coaching packages from our different real estate titans, as well as various different items that they've given away, including Dave Knight's going to give away his course. In addition to some coaching time, I'm going to be giving away an hour of coaching with me. And there's much more. So tune in for that. Definitely be following me on Instagram if you want to learn the details and how you can enter. But essentially, it'll be a combo of buying that book, the soft cover if you choose to go that way, as well as doing a couple other things, tagging us on social media, and that enters you for that draw. So we're really looking forward to that. So a couple of things that I wanted to go over today was just really what the premise of the book is, and then of course what some sentiment right now is fresh. As you know, I record these episodes like the day before they come out, so that's what I'm doing right now. So as of right now, I heard rumblings that there's just a ton of new listings coming onto the market in Ontario. That makes sense. It's spring. A lot of people were waiting for spring and to be able to sell. And you combine that with the fact that we've got interest rates that are quite high right now. They've gone back up. The initial thought that there was going to be cuts, which if you've been following me for a while, I never really bought into. I didn't really see them coming in a big hurry, and I think it's more likely that they stay put. So I think the market is sort of now pricing that in, of course, and it's got people in a bit of a pickle because they're not really in the best position to sell because buyers can't qualify for as much of a mortgage right now because the rates are high. So a bit of a pickle. Now, some people are wondering, does it make sense to wait, sell a little bit later? It may, and it may not. I've talked about the dynamic with, you have the competing forces. Immigration pushes prices up, interest rates push price down. And then which force wins? And none of us have the answer to that. So anytime you wait in real estate, you're speculating. If you're waiting for values to change over time, you're speculating. And that's why we saw so many people get burned. And that's one of the things I talked about in the book, which I'll get into in a moment. So the long and short of it is I've sold many properties at less than the ideal time. And I sold them because I made a decision that was the right move. I'm not saying that's right. That's not advice. That's just my approach. So that may be right for some. That may not be right for others. I'm fortunate that I got out of most of my Canadian inventory in 2021. And then I did end up selling in 2022 as well, which is obviously not as good of a time. And 2023. So, the one I sold in 2023, man, I sold it for $440 and I would have got $750 at the height. Hindsight's 2020, right? So anyways, let's talk a little bit about this book. And basically how it starts is, John and I outline how to read the book. So John Schwenker, my co-author, once again, let's just introduce, if you're watching the YouTube version, you can see the book on the screen. So this is my author copy. So it's Real Estate Titans, Tools, Tactics, and Wisdom for Canadian Real Estate Wealth. And I was really taking the whole Titans thing, getting some inspiration from Tim Ferriss's Tools of the Titans. And, because he profiled all these different people. And that was where the idea for this book came from, is we wanted to profile different successful people and what they do, what works, or in their estimation, what works. Of course, we can't guarantee anything. We don't know every detail about these people, but, at a surface level, these are people I've known for many years, or John's known for many years. He, of course, picked the group of investors that were interviewed and asked them pretty much the same set of questions and neatly packaged it into a book format. So similar to what we do on the podcast, but the podcast has all that back and forth and it's not distilled. Whereas the book, the idea is that it's distilled. So starts with that, and then we go through sort of John's history with real estate, how he's had his share of bumps, and so have I. And we both learned from the School of Hard Knocks. And I learned from the School of Hard Knocks starting in 2012. That's when I really started taking my lumps. And it wasn't until 2015 when I got back into it that I really started finding success in real estate. So I took a lot of early failures, and that's shaped my investing strategy. And I'm glad I had the opportunity to learn on small stuff. So some of you who have followed me from the beginning will have heard my stories of investing in Ohio in 2012. And I bought houses for like 15 grand all in after renos. Well, the other one I bought for like 12 grand and I was in it for like 30. And then the property manager let it get destroyed and stole a bunch of my money. And, I learned all this, stuff because I wanted to trust. At the end of the day, I look back on it and I'm like, that was totally my fault. I chose to trust somebody I shouldn't have trusted. And I wanted to trust him. And, so much of real estate and success and entrepreneurship is about your mental game and extreme honesty and never lying to yourself. And that has shaped how I do things, for better or for worse. I think for better for the most part, but it also kept me out of a lot of excitement. It kept me out of a lot of the gains of the past few years. I didn't profit from it nearly like some of the people I know, but it also kept me out of a lot of the hardship that a lot of people are experiencing right now to a large degree. I mean, everybody's feeling it, but it's definitely better than it could be. So one of the biggest things that I aim to do with, sort of the intro of the book, because the intro of the book is me and John just kind of sharing wisdom, and then we get into all the investor interviews. And that's the bulk of the book is the investor interviews, and then there's a wrap-up chapter. So I'll give you my sentiments from the book, and sort of we coach people on how to read it. It's basically a buffet. You're not going to do every one of these strategies, but you might be able to take something from each person. Not saying that they're perfect, not saying they do it perfect. They were kind enough to provide their time to share their stories and be in the book. And I think that a lot of them have certain things figured out, and there's something you can learn from each and every one of them. So, of course, we intro that, how to read the book, and then we go into understanding yourself. And one of the biggest things to do, and this is what I do with my coaching students, is, we take the time to just sit down and talk through, okay, what is it that you want to do? What is it that you need to do? And what is it that you can do? And I think there's not always alignment with those different things. And there certainly wasn't for me early on. I was all big on all the things I wanted to do. I wanted to grow so fast, but I bought 2 rental properties to start and then was out of money. And then I was like, now what? So I bought 2 rental properties. Now what? I was completely stalled, and me being stalled led to frustration, led to me taking out a line of credit and buying properties in Ohio and trusting somebody I shouldn't because I wanted to keep growing. I was impatient. I did not align what I can do, wanted to do, and need to do. And so a big part of what you can do, boils down to your net worth, your time, your education, your skill set. What you need to do is responding to the market and looking at what are the conditions, what are the factors you need to be aware of. And then, of course, so we've got can, need, and then want. What do you want to do? And we try and find some sort of balance there. So a big part of the book is assessing, what do you have? Do you have a whole bunch of available time? Because somebody with a whole bunch of available time and not a lot of money, they can make up for their lack of money by learning everything that somebody with a bunch of money doesn't know, and approach that person and say, hey, I can take this project from A to B. All I need for you to do is fund it. You could be that person, but that's high active investing. And then you've got the other side. I consider that a spectrum. So we talk about the spectrum and assessing for yourself, where do you fall on that spectrum? And then once you better understand that, now you can pick through the buffet of all the different investors, and you'll be better able to balance what it is you think you want to do with what you now have assessed you can do, and then look at what it is you need to do to accomplish the success, the goals that you have. Like if your goal, so your wants come in your goals, if you have a goal of quitting your job, what you need to do might not work with what you can do. So there's a lot of people who used to be able to just quit their job and go start a wholesaling company, or they'd quit their job, do a few burrs, and there'd be enough refinance capital coming in that they could just live off of that while they build out there's cash flow. There's so many people doing that kind of thing. And I never encourage that. Generally speaking, I'd say 99% of my students who ask, should they quit their job, or tell me, Andrew, I just want to quit my job now, I say, hang on. Your job's an asset right now. But give it a couple of years. If we plan correctly, we can get you out of that job, and it all comes down to a plan that works, right? So minimizing your personal fixed expenses, and helping give you the opportune time that you need to go build your business. Like, I think for people nowadays, like, kids that are 18 to 20, 21, 22, now you've got an opportunity. If your parents will let you stay in their house, go just start doing work, building your wealth now, and spend time working for people, spend time learning, like work for a wholesaler, work for a realtor, get into the market. Like, there's a lot of people are down on, the new generation won't be able to accomplish anything. Well, parents used to kick their kids out of the house or charge them rent at 18. Well, now parents are used to and allowing of their kids to stay. That's a huge opportunity. So it's a huge opportunity for people out there. But then you might be a doctor, and you're somewhere else in the spectrum. And now in terms of you have zero time, but you have money. So, the net worth factors in, the money factors in. So now you've got to take the very limited time you have and educate yourself enough, go to networking events enough to find people who have something to lose. And I mean, like, they have a reputation, they're well established. If they were to do anything offside, it would hurt them. And you pick those people and you do business with them. That's not advice. That's just what I would do with those constraints. So, I don't pretend to have all the answers. I've given my honest assessment. I think I'm a pretty logical thinker, and I've done my best to put that into, the limited space that I got within the book that I just wanted to distill, for our audience, to distill for the readers, to give them sort of an actionable. And we built in some stuff in this book, really like checklists, things that, if you're trying to even buy your first property. So it sort of works for if you're new, and then there's some sophisticated stuff, of course, in the strategies too. So we tried to tailor it so that, for Canadians looking to build wealth using real estate, understanding that it's now 2024 and not 2021, here's what we see. So we've done our best to make that happen. And I'm really hopeful that you'll enjoy the book and get a bunch of stuff out of it. Definitely pick up at least a few gold nuggets. I'm very confident in that. All right, so those are the main points I wanted to cover for today. And some other stuff I wanted to say is don't get too caught up in the news. I did get some feedback. I think I shared this a little while ago. Some of the people reaching out to me, letting me know what they thought of the midweek episodes, letting me know what they'd want me to cover, and when I was taking that feedback, one of the people said that they liked how I didn't get too much into like the doom and the negativity. And I spent a lot of time being negative back when, we were in lockdowns and all that stuff. And I not intentionally, I wasn't trying to be negative, but I went through that sort of pointing out constantly what's wrong, and it doesn't go anywhere. So, I believe this is an entrepreneurial necessity. If you're going to be a real estate investor, if you're going to be a wealth builder, if you're going to be somebody who takes their situation into their own hands, there is zero benefit to dwelling on that which you can't change. Acknowledge constraints. So I look at Canada as a place that is not really very friendly to entrepreneurs, investors anymore. And I'm just taking that as information and I'm adjusting accordingly. Doesn't mean I can't make money here. I am in the process of doing that. We have our resorts, and we're going to continue to do that. And I'm actually really excited for the stuff we're doing. Side note, it's May 8th right now. We have like 5 or 6 bookings coming in on May 10th. That's the day we open. And I'm very interested in how that's even possible, because it's still cold May 10th, especially up there. And we're grateful, of course. We've done a bunch of like giveaways and stuff early on, and so we've got our tents renting out in the cold for a couple $100 a night. times 6. So just to kick things off for the year, we're super pumped about what this year can do. Of course, high season is July and August, and we're really pumped about that. We go all the way till October 15th, but it's really inspiring to see it off to a good start. And of course, I'll bring you in on the updates as the season progresses. Anyone wants to check out our camp, I highly encourage it. Any questions about it, feel free to reach out to me directly. And just anything about these midweek episodes, if you want to connect, want to talk to me, want to suggest something to me, I'm good with the DMs on Instagram. That's probably the easiest thing. So feel free to reach out at the Andrew Hines, or you can send me an email, andrew@andrew-hines.com. Thank you so much for tuning in yet again. Hope you're enjoying these midweek episodes, but please let me know. I'm happy to adjust my direction. I just want to give people value and say thank you to people who've been tuning in for so long and showing so much love. Appreciate you, and we'll see you again on the weekend.